Hey, what's going on? My name is Soda, and I want to thank my viewer G for the idea of this video today. Show what add-ons I use and what each add-on does. So I wanted to expand upon that and also show the client mods, the tweaks, and also the reshader I use. So you can get your game going from this to this, which I think looks very nice. It still has a lot of the original WoW aesthetics, and it's also a lot of quality of life things that are in the background that you don't see right now. But let me show you how to first get started. So first things first, these are all the add-ons I use. So if you just want to see exactly what I'm doing and copy it, there you are. All right, and then this is going to be broken into 4 sections. I'm going to talk about the add-ons and how to get them installed. I'm going to talk about the mods, which is really just the Turtle HD reforged, make things look a little prettier. We have some client fix things, which makes the game run a little smoother, and some other niceties. And then the last thing will be a reshader. So Turtle WoW is a mod of a very old version of the game, 1.12, which means a lot of mods just don't work. So when you come to, and again, this will all be linked down below, you come to this page, it shows you what mods work for Turtle WoW. Now there are 4 ways to install it, but if you want to manually install, or if you want to install with the command line interface, then you don't need my help, and you already know how to do everything and follow directions. So we're going to focus on the 2 ways I want to show you. So the way I've done it, which I showed you here before, is the Get Add-ons Manager. So the Get Add-ons Manager, you can click here, you can download right here. You get a zip folder, you just extract it. And then this folder you can put wherever you want on your computer. Doesn't really matter. What you want to do is create a shortcut of this manager.exe and put this shortcut somewhere that's nice to have. Near Turtle WoW is a good spot. And there you go. Now, the other way to install add-ons will be through the Turtle WoW add-ons. Now, this client interface is really nice and smooth. And if you go through all the available, this has the vast majority of add-ons that I would possibly use anyway. So it's all right here. So it's very simple if you want to go through here. And if you want to add anything that's not on this list, you just go to Add New Add-on, which asks for a URL. So let's go find a URL. So here we have 3 different UIs. Now they recommend you only choose one of these because they will not play well together. Might even crash the game. I don't know. But I like how Shaco Tweaks looks and feels. You can open these up, open the link right here, or you can right click on the link itself and hit copy link. So once you have the link for the GitHub page, you can go to the interface, add new add-on, and you just copy the link here. And actually, this is kind of nice. The way it tells you exactly what it's doing. It's pretty cool. And you hit install. And then for the Get Add-on Manager, you just hit plus, post link here, hit OK. I already have it, so it won't do anything. And that's it. So now let's show you what each one of these add-ons does. Oh, so here's one thing as well. To know if the add-ons are working or not, when you're on the character screen, on the bottom left, you'll see the add-ons button. And you can come here and you can enable or disable certain ones. Occasionally maybe something breaks and you're not sure what's causing a bug or an issue. Maybe you just want to try, I didn't kind of like the aux. Let me try without the aux or the bag shoe. And then see how you like it and go back and forth and not have to worry about uninstalling all of that. So right now we're going to disable all. And I'm just going to show you the Atlas loot. All right, so Atlas loots gives you a little icon here, which you can drag around if you really want to. Right click and drag. There you go. What does it do? Lets you look up dungeons and raids, world bosses. You can go into, let's say, the Dead Mines, and you can see which each boss and their drops. And it even tells you the drop rate, which is pretty cool. The next thing is going to be the auction mod. So many of you might be used to this auction screen. So let me show you what it looks like with the aux now. Can't lock out there. All right, fine. All right, and then with the auctioneer, the aux add-on, you can do things like see the price of heavy stone. And this tells you how many auctions it is and what the stack size is. So this tells you the auction buyout per stack. So you can see the stack size is 11. It's 32 silver for all 11. If you go by here, you can see the historical value percentage, which is sometimes really off, but whatever. Sometimes it's pretty good though. But on the flip side, if you go to when you want to post items, like if I want to post the heavy stone, this is giving me the price per item. So even if I do a stack of 20, this would still be 2 silver, but it will sell it at the 2 silver times 20. It's currently loading the pages. You always click a little bit early. If you just want to click for the 100% value, you can set it like that, or you can go right here, and sometimes it just either matches them or it might undercut them by 1 copper, depending. But it's nice and easy to sell items this way. As you can see, we still have all the bag stuff here, so let me show you the bag add-on. All right, and then here is the bag add-on. It's much, much better than working with the default Blizzard UI on the bags. And I always get a lot of questions when people say, oh, what is this? What add-on is this? And I was a little skeptical at first when I was switching to bags, because I was just so used and set in my ways. But I very quickly got used to this, and I'm in love with this. This thing is amazing. All right, so now for the next thing, which is character stats, which is pretty nebulous, especially for spellcasters. So let's show you, well, this is before and then the after. Oh, while we're here, this corpse info is supposed to tell me when I mouse over a corpse if they're online or not, Horde Alliance. I'm not sure if it works or not, but I'm the type of person, I see a random corpse in the world and I try to res them. This lets me know if it's even worth my time. Full UI toggle, I haven't actually used this one yet. I haven't enabled the shortcut. And for me, it was just trying to get better screenshots, but I haven't used it yet, so no opinions on this. NAM power and Super API. Now, these are both part of the tweaks section, so not actually part of this add-on list, but you can turn them on and off. So for right now, all we're really doing is add in the Reshade XP and the better character stats, because it's real simple, both of these. All right, so now with the better character stats, you can actually look way more in depth to what you have. So if I go to, and all these type of things too, but if I go into spells, I can see what my crit chance of my spells is. I can see my mana regen. I can see what haste if I had any. And then on the bottom left, you can see Reshade XP. It's letting me know how much of the total Reshade XP I can get. What percentage is it filled up? Because you can go past your full bar, and then you're like, well, where's the thing? Because if it's on this bar, you'll see the little rested thing. Well, this lets you know when you're capped out on the rested, so you don't waste any more time being rested. Because Turtle WoW has little tents to get rested experience very quickly. I think 100% can be done in 15 minutes. That's neither here nor there. Next add-on. All right, and then we have PF Quest. So this allows you to mark certain things on the map, like herbs, or mines and ores, fishing pools, rare mobs, etc. So that when you press M for the map, you'll see all the nodes, how long it takes them to respawn, the level you need. And it also helps you with quests. You can see on the left side, it's telling me about certain quests. So if I turn off the herbs, because there's just too many herbs, I can see I have a quest for a snuff box about here, and 5 cursed marines here. And the first time you run this add-on, it'll give you a little like, hey, do you want this simplified or really detailed? And do you want a little arrow pointing to where it goes? All right, and then next we have the Turtle Mail add-on. It allows you to receive mail very quickly or send mail very quickly. This is now my third take. It's like I only do this so many times. Yeah, look at that. I opened up all the mail super quick. And you can do the same thing. You can send something to someone. You can send 3 items. You hit send. It does it all automatically. You still got to pay the postage per item, but that's fine. All right, next add-on. All right, so here I got a little twofer. Make it nice and quick. This is an add-on for Warlocks. It makes things really nice and simple. You can click certain spells here instead of wasting space on your action bar. And then we have a DPS meter. Again, this is a really simple one, but it gets the job done. No issues with it. And then again, the last 2 add-ons are Shagu Tweaks and Tweaks Extras. If you're going to go for a UI and you choose to go for Shagu Tweaks, you might as well get the extras. And then this is what it looks now with my settings I currently have with Shagu Tweaks. But to alter how anything looks, you can go to Advanced Options. And most of these are just on the base thing, and then a few more get added in with the extras. But there's a whole bunch of settings here to set the game up exactly how you want it. Next, we have the mods, which I'm going to focus on just Turtle HD Reforge. This can get a little complicated, not really. Basically, each patch has a letter. And if you have 2 patches with the same letter, it's just not going to load. People make these mod packs and put them all together and that each letter has a unique letter, basically. Now, I will again have this linked. Like patches B, D, and E must be installed together. Or you must have vanilla helpers mod, which is in the TWOW, which I'll be in the client section. Certain things like that, or this one as well is important, but that's also in the TWOW clients. But you come here, download patches that you want. You also can just download all of them, and then you can enable and disable them inside here. But for me, I just use B, C, D, and E. So once you download these .mpq files, you'll get something like this. So you want to go to wherever you have your TurtleWow installed. You go to your TurtleWow, you go to data, and then you just drag this into here. Now I already have the patch, and then you may need to relaunch your TurtleWow, but once you go to mods, you should see a bunch of these patches if you have. For example, I got B, C, D, and E. I have them enabled, and simple as that. Again, there's a few nuances, but that's where you just read through the link here. Or if you just follow what I'm doing with these 4 patch things and the next section I'll show you, it should be fine. Okay, and then the next section is the client fixes and tweaks. Now, I was able to do this all manually, but then I couldn't get the reshader to work. So then I just went back to the way I was doing it before through the TWOW launcher. The only thing you really need to go to on this page is SuperWow. So then you just go here. Now, all the tweaks and client fixes are .dll files, which means they're injecting things, which means, a virus concern is a possibility. So this is the internet, so, be safe. I've downloaded these and had no issues, but, again, it's the internet. Be careful. But if Windows is giving you trouble, you can disable it or allow certain files to work. But we're going to use the TWOW launcher to do all these, which makes it much simpler. So all you really need to do is go to step 6. You grab this, gives you a .zip folder. In the zip folder, all you need to do is extract the .dll file. So you extract it. And then you go back to your base folder for TurtleWow, and you just shove it in there, which I'm not going to put in because I already got it. You might need to close and open TurtleWow. But if you go to mods, you should see a bunch of options here for custom turtle mods here. So like DXVK, NamPower, vanilla fixes, vanilla helpers, and SuperWow hook. And I have these all enabled for better performance, input lag for casting, if you have higher latency, and then certain things like SuperWow hook allow, or SuperWow API. They give you some niceties, give some of your add-ons more niceties, things like you can see the target of your target. How do you know if things are installed correctly? Well, if you go to /macro and you try to make a new macro, you can see on the bottom left the character limit. Normally it's 255, we're now at 511. So we know this means the SuperWow one works for sure, but I know a bunch of them are working. They're all working. And you can also go to the top right on this little book, right click on this. And this is where you can have certain options like your auto loop, shift to toggle on, always on, if you want background sound. And lastly, we now have Reshade. So you can go to Reshade at home, you can go to download. I was told to grab download Reshade with full add-on support. You download that, it takes a second. And then you get a .exe and you can put this anywhere you want. And this also works on many games. Now when you launch it up, it lets you know this build of Reshade is intended for single player games only and may cause bans in multiplayer games. Not in TWOW, and certain multiplayer games will not care. Yes, be careful with certain games with this. TurtleWow and a whole bunch of single player games go crazy. So now on this list, my game never shows up, so I have to go to browse. And this took me a little while to figure out, but you want to just work on the wow.exe. Although right before then, when you open up your TurtleWow, you're going to have a d3.d9. It's a DirectX 9.dll file. What I did with my original file was name it to this with a dot back. So I know this is a backup. So that no matter what happens, or if I'm sick and tired of Reshade and it's not working or who knows what, I can delete this file and then I can rename this to its original name, d3d9.dll. But in the meantime, I always have a backup right here just in case I break anything. Now, since I'm going to reinstall the shader, I'm just going to move this out of the folder. You would have that file, and you can just rename it or move it somewhere else. Now back to the Reshade. I'm going to click wow.exe. Now, I believe OpenGL should work. I cannot get it to work. So I just do DirectX 9, and that's also why I have to work with this D3D9 file to my knowledge. But I go to DirectX 9, hit next, everything perfect. Yeah, now I can go to, you can have a custom .ini file if you want. Okay, I have my preset file, but you also can go in with nothing. You don't need to have this here for it to work. I just go with the standard and this, like I just let it do its defaults. That's fine with me. It's plenty of options for what I want. Hit next. It does this thing. I hit next for the add-ons, which I don't know too much about this. Again, this is my least knowledgeable section. I'm just showing you what I do to get it to work. Hit finish, which is really simple. Now, how do you know if it works? Well, launch the game. And now you can see on the top left, you see the Reshade. You can press home to open configuration. So you can press home and boom, here it is. Here's my preset. But I can also load up a none. And then you can do whatever you want with this. You know, maybe you want a little ASCII going on, but you're thinking like, no. Maybe I need more space and so I can really not tell what's going on the screen. You know, you can turn that off. You can also put multiple different things on. So you want the advanced CRT, and you can have different settings of how advanced the amounts or the resolution. And you can do it with like this DPX on there. And I don't know all these settings, but you can mess around with all this stuff and you can get the settings exactly how you want. And then for when I was messing around, I like just the basic on Magic Bloom, Technicolor 2, and Vignette. Which, you know, maybe it's not perfect, but I also have a preset file that I edited ever so slightly. And I like how this looks. So then let me just show you before and after. All right, so here's just the basic, nothing happening. You can see my slight tweaks. I think it looks better, but you know. And then the preset I was given, which I think does look very nice. And you can just press home to get in and out of the screen. You know this is working if you can press home. And then you can mess with this however you want. There's so many options. But yes, that is it for this video. It was very different making this kind of content. I'm not used to it, but I am trying to make other types of content besides just gaming videos. So we'll see how that goes. If you made it this far and you liked what you saw, feel free to give me a like, maybe even a subscribe. I would appreciate it. That's going to do it for this video. And since I'm so bad at ending videos, thank you so much for watching this far again. You guys have a great day, good night, and all that jazz.